ideas in another time, in a different circumstance, there would perhaps be room to pity such a person. Leon Neal, Getty. The most revealing answer from Donald Trump's interview with Fox News Channel's Chris Wallace came in response not to the toughest question posed by Wallace, but to the easiest. At the conclusion of the interview, Wallace asked Trump how he will regard his years as president. "I think I was very unfairly treated," Trump responded. "From before I even won, I was under investigation by a bunch of thieves, crooks. It's an illegal investigation." Peter Wenner, the president, is unraveling when Wallace interrupted, trying to get Trump to focus on the positive achievements of his presidency. "What about the good parts, sir?" Trump brushed the question aside, responding, "Russia, Russia, Russia." The president then complained about the Flynn investigation, the Russia hoax, the Mueller scam, and the recusal by his then Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. "Now I feel good because he lost overwhelmingly in the great state of Alabama," Trump said about the first senator to endorse him in the 2016 Republican primary. Donald Trump is a psychologically broken, embittered, and deeply unhappy man. He is so gripped by his grievances, such a prisoner of his resentments, that even the most benevolent question from an interviewer, "What good parts of your presidency would you like to be remembered for?" triggered a gusher of discontent. But the president still wasn't done. "Here's the bottom line," he said. "I've been very unfairly treated, and I don't say that as paranoid. I've been everybody says it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but there was tremendous evidence right now as to how unfairly treated I was. President Obama and Biden spied on my campaign. It's never happened in history. If it were the other way around, the people would be in jail for 50 years right now." David Frum, "This is Trump's plague now." Just in case his bitterness wasn't coming through clearly enough, the president added this: "That would be Comey, that would be Brennan, that would be all of this, the two lovers, Strzok and Page. They would be in jail now for many, many years. They would be in jail. It would have started 2 years ago, and they'd be there for 50 years. The fact is, they illegally spied on my campaign. Let's see what happens." Despite that, "I did more than any president in history in the first 3.5 years. With that, the interview ended. Such a disposition in almost anyone else, a teacher, a tax accountant, a CEO, a cab driver, a reality television star, would be unfortunate enough. After all, people who obsess about being wronged are just plain unpleasant to be around, perpetually ungrateful, short-tempered, self-absorbed, never at peace, never at rest." But Donald Trump isn't a teacher, a tax accountant, or, any longer, a reality television star. He is, by virtue of the office he holds, in possession of unmatched power. The fact that he is devoid of any moral sensibilities or admirable human qualities, self-discipline, compassion, empathy, responsibility, courage, honesty, loyalty, prudence, temperance, a desire for justice, means he has no internal moral check. The question, "Is this the right thing to do?" never enters his mind. As a result, he not only nurses his grievances, he acts on them. He lives to exact revenge, to watch his opponents suffer, to inflict pain on those who don't bend before him. Even former war heroes who have died can't escape his wrath. Read, Trump's America is slipping away. So Donald Trump is a vindictive man who also happens to be commander-in-chief and head of the executive branch, which includes the Justice Department, and there is no one around the president who will stand up to him. He has surrounded himself with lapdogs. But the problem doesn't end there. In a single term, Trump has reshaped the Republican Party through and through, and his dispositional imprint on the GOP is as great as any in modern history, including Ronald Reagan's. I say that as a person who was deeply shaped by Reagan and his presidency. My first job in government was working for the Reagan administration. When I was in my 20s, the conservative movement in the 1980s, although hardly flawless, was intellectually serious and politically optimistic. And Reagan himself was a man of personal decency, grace, and class. While often the target of nasty attacks, he maintained a remarkably charitable view of his political adversaries. "Remember, we have no enemies, only opponents." The former Indiana governor Mitch Daniels, who worked for Reagan, quotes him as admonishing his staff. Read, Donald Trump is Reagan's heir. In his farewell address to the nation, Reagan offered an evocative description of America. "I've spoken of the shining city all my political life, but I don't know if I ever quite communicated what I saw when I said it," he said. "But in my mind it was a tall, proud city built on rocks stronger than oceans, windswept, God-blessed, and teeming with people of all kinds living in harmony and peace, a city with free ports that hummed with commerce and creativity, and if there had to be city walls, the walls had doors and the doors were open to anyone with the will and the heart to get here. That's how I saw it, and see it still. A city tall and proud, its people living in harmony and peace, surrounded by walls with open doors." That was Ronald Reagan's image of America, and Ronald Reagan's Republican Party. When Reagan died in 2004, the conservative columnist George Will wrote a moving tribute to his friend, saying of America's 40th president, "He traveled far, had a grand time all the way, and his cheerfulness was contagious." Reagan had a talent for happiness, according to Will. And he added this: "Reagan in his presidential role made vivid the values, particularly hopefulness and friendliness, that give cohesion and dynamism to this continental nation." There were certainly ugly elements on the American right during the Reagan presidency, and Reagan himself was not without flaws. But as president, he set the tone, and the tone was optimism, courtliness and elegance, joie de vivre. He has since been replaced by the crudest and cruelest man ever to be president, but not just that. One senses in Donald Trump no joy, no delight, no laughter. All the emotions that drive him are negative. There is something repugnant about Trump, yes, but there is also something quite sad about the man. He is a damaged soul. Adam Sower, "The cruelty is the point. In another time, in a different circumstance, there would perhaps be room to pity such a person. But for now, it is best for the pity to wait. There are other things to which to attend." The American public faces one great and morally urgent task above all others between now and November: to do everything in its power to remove from the presidency a self-pitying man who is shattering the nation and doesn't even care. We want to hear what you think about this article. Submit a letter to the editor or write to letters@theatlantic.com. Peter Wenner is a contributing writer at The Atlantic and a senior fellow at the Ethics and Public Policy Center. He writes widely on political, cultural, religious, and national security issues, and he is the author of The Death of Politics: How to Heal Our Frayed Republic After Trump. Let's block ad.
Show your love for him. Click the link in description. Thanks for watching.